Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Build of the Week is a video series that showcases interesting character builds created by Path of Exile community members. This week's character is a level 83 Shadow in the Standard League that shatters high-level enemies using a pair of ranged attack totems. The character uses the Piscator's Vigil wand, which offers a lot of increased elemental damage as well as attack speed, accuracy and critical strike chance at the cost of having no base physical damage. Most wand users scale their damage by adding or converting a portion of their physical damage to elemental damage, which this character can't do. Instead, it gets all of its damage from buffs and its other items. To get the most out of its buffs, this character uses the Mantra of Flame's unique jewel, which adds damage based on the number of active buffs. So not only do Wrath, Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder provide a lot of cold and lightning damage, but they also cause the character to gain some fire damage. In order to maintain as many buffs as it can, this character also triggers Tempest Shield and Molten Shell when it takes damage. They don't do any damage due to the Ancestral Bond Keystone, but just having them is worth it for the added fire damage from Mantra of Flames. The sixth buff that this character typically maintains is an Ice Golem, which provides it with some additional critical strike chance. Kinetic Blast and Power Siphon are both common skills for wand characters, but this build uses them in unusual ways. Kinetic Blast is channeled through 2 range attack totems and is linked to Pierce, weapon elemental damage, added cold damage and increased critical damage. The Rain of Splinters and Poacher's Aim jewels both enhance the damage and effectiveness of this skill. Power Siphon deals no damage due to Ancestral Bond. It's instead used for a variety of utility functions. Each hit grants life and has the potential to cull enemies, as well as causing them to grant power charges when killed. It's supported by greater multiple projectiles and chain, meaning it doesn't need to be fired often to affect a lot of enemies. This character's gloves and jewelry add damage to its attacks, as well as offering critical strike chance and multiplier. It gains some additional weapon elemental damage from its belt. This character allocates passive skills from both the Shadow and the Witch's areas of the tree on its way to Ancestral Bond in the Templar area, primarily focusing on life and critical strike chance. Eldritch Battery is an ideal keystone passive for this character because it doesn't use its skills very frequently. The keystone allows its excess mana to be used for additional buffs. It's also right next to the Witch's Wand Wheel, which this character allocates most of. The Shaman's Dominion cluster is important to this build because it offers a useful way to scale the character's damage on the way to the Templar area where it mainly gets defensive skills. This build manages to be effective even on a budget, although there is still room for further investment, particularly in its rings and amulet. This character will also be able to deal more damage for no additional cost once its gems have leveled up more. This character offers more range and area of effects than most spell totem builds, so there's rarely a reason to get near groups of enemies. It does share Kinetic Blast's weakness against tough single targets, but the use of totems ensures relative safety from their attempts to retaliate. If you'd like to submit a build for next week's episode, just post a build guide in the class forums on pathofexile.com. Thanks for watching and see you next time.